Like, if there's anything I know about us, we will go and we will be there filming content.
Exactly.
Regardless of if we're invited.
Regardless of invite.
Hello.
Just
Brett
act
Wiggins,
like you're
the Cover
supposed to be
Podcast.
there.
But the funny thing is, like,
The
none of the
funniest
movies
part
we
is
covered.
that we missed. The funniest part is that we missed the Indianapolis Film Festival.
That's true.
That's too
That's
small
beneath
for us.
us.
It's too
It's
small
beneath
for
us.
us.
Welcome to The Cover, where three Hoosier friends judge books by their covers and movies by their trailers.
That's right. I'm Brett, here with my fellow Indiana natives, Remington and Marcus, ready to dive into the stories that keep us up all night and occasionally put us to sleep.
Whether you're a bookworm, movie buff, or just here for the witty banner, we've got you covered.
Each week, we'll dissect a different book or movie, sharing fun facts, hot takes, and moments that make Marcus cry. Spoiler alert, we're not experts, but we're definitely opinionated.
From literary masterpieces to blockbuster flops, nothing is safe from our snarky reviews and wild tangents. Who knew Hoosiers could be this entertaining?
So grab your popcorn and reading glasses because we're about to embark on a hilarious journey through the pages and screens that shape our lives. Or at least our weekends.
You're listening to The Cover. Let's get the show on the road before one of our kids wakes up.
Oh, I can talk about my back. And Diet Coke. Yeah, we'll talk about old.
We could talk about
There we
book
go.
size.
There we go.
We can also talk about.
Diet Coke is good.
Diet Coke is
We're gonna
hilarious.
talk about. We'll talk. We'll kick off with Parks Place, and then it'll be good. All right.
You hurt your back on the ice at Parks Place?
No.
Oh.
No. What's new is I did hurt my back, which is part of a 2-part series of how we know we're getting older. Part 1 is I worked out Saturday morning, and then my neighbor offered to let me use his snow blower, and I responded with, "No, man, I'm gonna count it as a workout." And 3 days later, it's Monday, and or 2 days later, and I'm stiff. I'm like right
Counted
at
as
the
3 workouts.
right at that moment, like before your back locks up, but it's not there yet. So
Yeah.
you're doing everything very carefully. So I'm.
So do you think your back hurts because you work out regularly and then you decided to shovel? Because I shoveled a lot and I never worked out. I'm just fine.
You've got some weird dad muscles going on.
That's true.
That's true. People do get annoyed when they're like, "Hey, come lift with me," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't really lift that much," and then I'll just do whatever reps they're doing.
Perfect
That's
dad
true.
strength.
That's 100% true, Marcus. We lifted a 1,000-pound coffee table off of Remington's floor, and Marcus was like, "Ready, 1, 2, 3." I'm like, "Ah!" I'm like in perfect squat position. Marcus is bent over. The second
Built
part
like a
to that
brick.
story is Rem was like, "Hey, you got to try Diet Coke," and I was like,
When did you start drinking Diet Coke?
So I've always been a Coke guy.
Yeah.
But I've been really serious about my health the last 6 to 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
Just like really trying to hone in on all of it. And I would just justify Coke now and then, and I still might.
Certain meals, pizza, you would be like,
Pizza,
"Dude, gotta have a Coke." with
Five
pizza.
Guys, like certain meals where I'm like, if I'm gonna have it, I'm also gonna have a Coke.
So much so that it made it in his book.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just read your book. It was good.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, you sent me some great texts. So anyway, I've been seeing online, like everyone's biggest issue with anything that's diet is the aspartame.
Mm-hmm.
And so lately, the big discussion around all the fitness gurus and fitness influencers is how we're just completely backwards on what we actually know about aspartame. Like there's way more aspartame in regular foods and all this stuff.
So this isn't specific to diet.
No, not
stuff
specific
anyway.
to diet, but like a lot of people that I would say are very well known and well versed within the health world are like, yeah, I drink Diet Coke and I like it. I like to have bubbles every once in a while and 0 calories. So I'm like, you know what? The problem with all the diets and fads and things when you're trying to replace it is it's never going to be as good as Coke. But all I did was shift my thinking one thing.
This got me. This is what got me, Marcus.
This is what I realized. I'm not replacing Coke with Diet Coke.
I'm drinking Diet Coke.
I'm replacing water with Diet Coke because I would go straight to water. I'd be like, I'm just drinking water, coffee, maybe milk. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm sick of water and I want to change it up, Diet Coke tastes really good.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it tastes amazing.
Right? So it changed everything.
It tastes amazing. And then I just had my first Diet Pepsi today we did Costco dinner, which is once a month we do a big Costco run, and then we do dinner for 7 people for $11.
Right.
It's amazing. And they have Pepsi there, so I got Diet Pepsi. And I will tell you, Diet Pepsi, I like the sweetness it adds to it. But then Marcus was like, dude, Diet Mountain Dew. And I was like, can't wait for that.
Diet Cherry Pepsi is what I would do. That's what
I like Diet Coke a lot too.
Yeah.
No, so
I'm on it.
I asked Rem's parents if what do I do now? Do I get my double ARP card?
Because you hurt your back drinking the Diet Coke.
What's next? What do I need to be prepared for?
You need to become an expert on World War II. That's what it is.
Well, we're on our way then.
Yeah. We are on our way.
We're actually on our way. Maybe that was sign number 1.
We haven't done a World War II movie. Well, Casablanca, I guess.
We kind of make fun of that, but we're like 35, 40 episodes into this thing, and I actually am retaining way more of the information that I'm reading, not only because I'm taking notes for the show, but I recall specific things from the show that I would have never remembered if I just read it fast.
You went from like 50% retention and 90%. I went from 0 to like 70. This is
you read books and you watch movies differently when you have to prepare for something.
Yeah.
Like very differently. No doubt about that.
Well, we're getting old, but you're back here at the Cover Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Wiggins. As always, to my left is
Marcus Mangus.
That's right. Also known by some as Marcus Manages. And sitting to my right is Sir
Remington Ramsey.
Rem, what are we covering?
We're covering Jamal and his brother Salim.
Hey.
They were raised in the slums of Mumbai. Orphaned at a young age, they managed to survive, as did their young friend Latika. Jamal becomes a contestant on India's version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Millionaire, by the way. Millionaire. He manages to get 10 million rupees in his first appearance, but is arrested by the police, who want to know how an illiterate slumdog, as children raised in the slum are called, could possibly know all of those answers without cheating. He explains how specific events in his life taught him the answers, and all he can say that being asked the questions to which he knows the answers is simply fate. He hopes that fate will give at least one more good turn, as he had a very specific reason for going on the show in the first place. This movie is Slumdog Millionaire. Came out in 2008. R rating, which is interesting. We'll get to that. 2 hours of runtime. Dev Patel, Freida Pinto, director Danny Boyle.
Yeah, you said we get to that. Today, that's not an R movie, right?
No, it still is. It was
I don't know why
it was a
R.
PG-13 rating. They submitted it as a PG-13 rating. And if you look at all the elements that typically get an R, they're not there. Cursing, sexual content, blood and gore. It was just such a dark subject matter that they had to give it an R rating. So, and it is. Like, it's very sad and dark.
So you think today in 2025 it would still get an R?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it'd be a PG-13. But to your point, it's heavy.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
And we talked, we might forget, so I'll just say it right now. Like, we're going to get to, Brett and I were talking about giving a disclaimer at the beginning of this, because this is a funny show, fun and lighthearted, but this is a very dark subject matter, which deals in human trafficking and the slums. So all 3 of us are Christian men that give money to organizations that fight human trafficking. And by no way are we going to make light of any of that during the show. However, the show will be lighthearted and we'll be focusing on the movie itself. Yeah,
you're probably coming to escape. And, we're here having fun, hanging out too. What I would like to make sure I don't forget is to let our listeners know what we're drinking tonight, because it's fantastic. This is based on the movie. Marcus, you want to introduce us to our drink?
It's called a Colt 45.
And the reason why is that was one of the questions.
One of the questions was who invented the revolver.
And he knew that.
Which, by the way, the movie did a pretty good job of explaining why he knew the answer to most of them. But that particular answer, why did he, just because his brother used a Colt 45.
And he says at one point, if I carry the Colt, I'm the boss, He wouldn't have known what any of the other gun manufacturers were.
Oh, so you think he just guessed the only one he knew?
I think that was the case assuming. On a couple. Yeah, a couple answers. I think there were assumption, but again, his goal wasn't to take home any money.
Yeah, he didn't care, and we didn't know that until the last question.
I want to be on as long as I possibly can. Yeah. So covering Slumdog Millionaire. What did I know going into it? I think the first time I watched it, I remember knowing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was baked into the script somehow. It also reminded me how big of a freaking deal Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was when we were growing up.
Regis.
Holy cow.
Huge deal.
That was stop everything you're doing and watch TV.
It was appointment television,
yes,
for sure.
100%. Regis was huge. Probably at the peak of his
especially career. Until someone won the million.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, you really got, that was one of my very first notes was man, that show was so big.
Yes.
I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, what did I say, 2008? It was also before being really good at searching the internet was not widely, not everyone was good at it.
True.
So like they would ask a question and it wasn't like just super easy on your phone to check it out.
Let me Google that for you was not a thing yet.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, you could Google it, but you'd have to go through articles to find the answer. There was no AI, no iPhone. And so you're kind of playing along with it.
Oh, we probably did have an iPhone.
It would have been the first year of the iPhone. So like brand new.
Not the same.
I don't think I got one until 2011.
Yeah.
Maybe 2012.
I was selling Blackberries.
I had a BlackBerry for a while.
I had a BlackBerry. I had an Envy. But
Blackberries was you didn't really search the internet. You just shot emails.
Right. Yeah, it was super cool.
You could get on the internet,
but it was not user friendly.
No.
And what's funny, I think the BlackBerry clicks is probably what caused the iPhone to create the fake clicks, because there's no reason for your phone to click when you're on an iPhone, but the BlackBerry that was
it's so annoying to me when it does that. When the phone,
mine's always off. Yeah,
mine is. You know, I wish I could. Maybe you can. Can you have your phone on loud and turn off the clicking when you're going?
Yeah. It's called.
You can have your phone completely off and it's still on loud in the middle of a ballet.
It's called haptics. You want to look up haptics settings in your phone. Haptics, HAPTICS.
Jessica, if you're listening and you could do that for me, that'd be wonderful.
That'd be
By the way, for the audience, it's incredibly hard to find Slumdog streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only on one app we could found.
Fandango
I had to dig through several boxes to find this movie.
Or you could drive to Fishers, where Marcus resides, and
come hang out with
DVD
me and
copy.
my 87 children, and we'll watch Slumdog Millionaire together. I think Reed could handle this movie.
Oh boy.
I mean, he's right there. He's at the cusp. He's 12?
It's not.
He's almost
what
13.
He can handle. It's the amount.
Did you just pull a? I said, is he 12? And Marcus said he's almost 13.
Well,
that was a 12 and a half situation.
No, I mean, he turns 13 next month.
I get it. I understand. The last thing I'll say about what I knew going into it, rewatching it, I realized I literally only remembered that he knows the answers from experience he had in the past. I didn't remember anything else about it.
But I really don't remember him jumping in the porta potty.
So as soon as I saw, I was like, "Oh, he jumped in the poop."
I was like,
"Okay." Oh man, that's what I thought.
Dude, the dialogue of those kids is so good.
I think this is the best kid acting that we have watched.
Oh, very good.
And I don't think it's particularly close.
It's not close.
Especially the kid who plays him.
Yeah, of all the movies that we've covered, this is the best kid acting.
So do you think the kid that plays Jamal?
I'm gonna forget my 9 words.
Does he know he's acting? Like, what is it to him?
Oh, yeah.
Is he
what? Yeah.
Is he acting, or is he like? What do they? How do they prepare him for that? Is it more like playing like boys and girls play house? They play.
Yeah, I mean, I can only I haven't seen any interviews on this, but I can speak from experience of being in plays as a young kid for a high school play. I was the young one in Cheaper by the Dozen, which I would have been like 6 or 7, maybe younger. You know you're acting. You know you have lines just like a recital. I mean, think about your kids at the recital. They know they're reciting lines. The difference is they go on stage, say their lines, and then go off stage instead of like a recital. So they definitely know at that age, and he's probably 6 or 7 now. Who'd I say the director? There's a ton of notes on the director, Danny Boyle. He had won an award right before that movie came out. But he started a trust for the 3 child actors to get their monies from the winnings of Slumdog, from the dollars of Slumdog, and they didn't get it until they were 16, which I thought was interesting. And I assumed it was just so that parents didn't squander.
So that was a written agreement from the director.
That was not one of the notes. The notes was just that he did it.
Oh,
so I don't know. I mean, I can see him seeing like a lot of corrupt parents just taking the money from their kids.
Yeah, I mean the children all did an amazing job, but I agree, Jamal's actor.
He's so cute too.
He's fantastic.
Cute little kid.
Thinks he's a good singer. Not that great.
No,
not that great.
No, that was the toughest part. Like I don't know why. Some part of me for like the adult scenes, I know it happens. It sucks, but the part that really breaks my heart is people taking advantage of kids that are just helpless.
Yeah. Ever since I've had kids, that's the one point of a movie that has even caused me to turn off.
Yeah. I've turned off
where I've been
movies
like, I guess
that.
I can't finish this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you do with this one?
So because it wasn't as focused on the girls, I think that's why it was different for me.
But the kid that they turn blind, I just it enrages me because that happens.
So that's because I mean we've all been to third world countries on a trip or whatever the case may be, and it all clicked for me where it was like, oh, dude,
it's an industry.
Yeah, it's a system. It's an absolute system. So when I've been absolutely mauled by 5 kids selling those little chitlets or whatever they are in Mexico, it's never dawned on me that they're making money for somebody. They're making money for somebody else potentially. And that's it breaks my heart. I will tell you, Salim's story breaks my heart more than even the blind kid. Just watching them absolutely identify him as
just his arc.
Yes,
a bulldog.
And then break him down, and then look him eye to eye and look.
When really he's just the oldest. He's taken care of.
So that was one of my notes early. Was like, is he? Because again, I don't remember anything from any movie. Is he just being a big brother picking on his little brother, or is this something bigger? And I think it was a little bit of both.
Oh, I mean, he definitely has that jealousy. You see that jealousy turn on when the kid gets the autograph.
Yes.
It's like it's what cues up everything. Like, just straight jealousy.
How can I take anything good in your life for myself? You see it with Latika, obviously, later. And
it also mounted because he caused him pain right before that when he lost money.
For the bathroom.
For the bathroom.
Yes, because of the shy one.
What do you guys? So that scene is so hard. So the kid jumps.
I have
if you
a
haven't
fun
seen
hidden gem for you guys.
The kid jumps into the porta potty, like basically just a pile of poop, and comes out of it so that he.
All right, I guess I'll have to get into it. So what they nail, and I don't know what they used or whatever.
I'll tell you what they used.
But what they nail is the sound. The. It's like a type of a thing. And I know they nail this specifically because I grew up on a pig farm. And outside of the pen that they had, so on our property, they had, my parents rented this farmhouse. And so it was like the pig farmers on the other side of the street. And then on our side, they had the sows. And then they had all of the really young pigs as they were growing up in one of the pens. So we had 2 pens on the property that I grew up on. And by the property with the little ones, they couldn't go out into the field or anything. All their poop and everything all went down into this corner. It went out into the field, out behind the corner. And the most fun thing was to like get big rocks or big clumps of dirt and like throw it out in there and just watch it go just like that. So funny. Or people would see how like neighbor kids or people would come visit and they would like see how close they could get to this basically quicksand.
Yeah.
Right?
Of poop.
One kid gets too close, loses his shoe.
Oh, it's gone.
Not
forever.
Kidding. It goes down in there. It just goes down and just disappears into the poop.
Hope it wasn't Jordan.
And I remember later, like 2 months later or something. It might have been 2 days. I don't know, but it felt like 2 months later. His shoe just like pops up to the surface.
No way.
But the plump, I will never forget. And they crushed it in that. They like hit,
so do you know
got
what they
the
used?
sound perfect.
Could you tell like kind of like the color and
peanut butter?
It was peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I made me create a would you rather because
that actually sounds fun. Now.
Having peanut butter smeared all over you.
I feel like it would take
Really?
multiple washes and many days to get it fully off.
Have you guys ever done like a mud volleyball or mud run or anything like that?
Yeah. Played
And like where you're like completely covered.
So, but here's my would
it's
you
like
rather.
impossible to get off.
Would you rather be doused in poop for 10 minutes? Actual poop.
Oh my God.
But then you wash it off and it's gone. Or be doused in peanut butter and chocolate, but it doesn't come off for a week.
Peanut butter and chocolate.
Oh, no.
Give me the
for
10
a
minutes.
week?
Yeah.
Give me the 10 minutes.
Yeah, because also I'm licking as much of that off as I can. For sure.
It's so gross too. If like, because it's supposed to be poop. You don't know it's chocolate.
Oh, it's so
poop.
gross.
And he's
everybody's like
he's moving the
putting
crowd.
their nose
he's
up.
like, yeah, he's like pushing people aside,
That's
getting
the
on
reason
the
he's able to get the autograph.
Brutal.
All right, let's get.
Give me the 10 minutes though, for sure. Yeah.
Let's get to our 30-second synopsis.
I think if it
Tell you what,
came down to
these are
it,
going down fast.
Dude, I already
you had
finished
two
mine.
piles. You would not jump into the poop. There's no way. No way.
If I
If you-
knew
no, no,
it was
There's
time out,
2
time out.
piles.
If you had
you
the-
have to jump in the first one and stay in it for 10.
If I knew it was 10 minutes versus 1 week of peanut butter,
Yeah.
I would take the 10
No,
minutes.
you wouldn't.
Yes,
No,
I
but
would.
No,
here's
you
the deal.
wouldn't.
I
Because it's
believe-
sitting right there. You wouldn't work up the courage to jump and
I
poop.
believe if you snapped your fingers and that happened, yes. If you had to consciously make the decision to
to
choose
jump
between the
and
two,
poop. There's no way. There's no way.
He's
I've
questioning.
done some
He's
bad-
questioning.
No,
Okay.
I mean,
All right, when we go to Books and Brews, we're going to make a pile of poop
for the live
and a pile
episode.
of peanut butter. And you have to put your hand in
No,
it.
I just know what the week would be like, and it would suck.
It's
This is coming from someone who's been hazed
Yeah,
for weeks at a
exactly.
time.
Like I'm just telling you that week would be awful.
We're 16 episodes
would
away
impact
from 50.
anything.
50 is Books and Brews.
Can we talk about it? Are we officially scheduled?
Yeah, we're
We don't have like a specific date.
But we're pretty
It'll
much
be probably a Monday or Tuesday. But
16
we are gonna
episodes away.
we are gonna record the 50th episode. It's right about my birthday. Right about time for my birthday, and we're gonna record the 50th one live.
I mean, it's Books and Brews for beers with your dudes. It's
Beers
pretty
with your
great.
dudes.
I'm allergic to beer and wine, so you know.
We featured a Books and Brews for the Charlie and
so
the
good.
Chocolate Factory episode.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
That was yummy.
You know
Actually,
what?
the new Augustus Gloop is going to come out very soon. They started brewing it.
That episode.
That was a good episode.
I don't bring up enough. That's a great episode.
The Willy Wonka?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great episode.
It was a good episode and a good movie.
Grandpa Joe.
Oh yeah.
Should I include him in my villains?
Oh, 100%.
I'd be interested to see what you learned from Grandpa Joe. He's not an admirable character.
30-second synopsis. I'll do some slam poetry followed by Marx's 9 words.
By the way, last episode, I think you're right. This is no longer 30 seconds.
This one will be.
Okay.
Maybe.
This one will be. He practiced.
Young boy in the slums of India. Brother, a complete butthead. Mother, dead. Destiny, present. How did he know the answers? One reason. He jumped in the poop. Never take a Coke from a stranger, even if it's in a glass bottle. Blind singers earn double. Cashing in at the Taj Mahal.
Glass bottle.
Salim never could fully commit to being good. Latika, the driving force. Who wants to be a millionaire? Jamal soon will be, but doesn't really care. Latika answers, and Jamal couldn't have been more smitten. But you already knew that because the answer is always D. It is written. Oh.
Well done.
Marcus, 9 words. And that was...
I feel like being a millionaire in other cultures is not the same as the U.S. because a million pesos, a million rupees. It's not the same. Like if you hit $1 million in the U.S., that in itself is a status. Like that's a barrier.
Here's my confusion with the movie though. He wins 20 million rupees. Mm-hmm. So is it Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in terms of U.S. dollars still?
No, I think that even at 1 million rupees, it's still a big deal for most of the people on the show. But 20 million rupees is actually $278,000 U.S.
Oh, that's it.
Which is still a bunch of money in India.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I've never been to India.
I have not either, but we've got our mentors, our marriage counselors. He's from India.
Should we do a live show from India?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like
I still think we should go to France first because that's the film capital.
Just do like a European
Where's
tour.
Sundance? Is that in California?
What if we showed up and called it Cannes and everybody there's
Sundance?
We'll just Cannes. It is whatever we want.
I don't actually know, but Sundance is probably like Colorado.
It's too bad
right?
our producer's not here
is it
right
Colorado?
now.
Yeah, producer Nate is home watching the Vikings Rams. I thought I watched.
By the way,
Vikings.
we're reading Sunny Boy for one of our next podcasts, and when he says it, he says,
it's Utah. It's Utah.
He says cans.
Yeah, that's what I told you guys that last episode. That's why I was asking. Is it cans or
Yeah,
Tom?
but Al Pacino's the type of guy that if he said it wrong,
He
no one would correct him. So they just
it's in his book. It's in his memoir.
I know, but they'd be like,
it's in Utah. It's in Utah, by the way.
Yeah,
Sundance.
I was close then.
That's why there's so many Mormon films that come out of there.
I've never been to Utah.
Cool, man.
Have you been?
No.
So they went, and I was
Not
having.
yet.
They went. Jeff took all of our colleagues skiing, and I was having babies. So
when's Sundance? Why don't we just go to Utah during Sundance?
Yeah.
Whether we can go or not.
We will go.
Yeah.
Like if there's anything I know about us, we will go and we will be there filming content.
Exactly.
Regardless of if we're invited.
Regardless of invite.
Hello.
Just
Brett
act
Wiggins,
like you're
the Cover
supposed to be
Podcast.
there.
But the funny thing is, like,
none
of the movies
part
we
is
cover.
that we missed. The funniest part is that we missed the Indianapolis Film Festival.
That's true.
That's too small for us. It's too small for us for sure.
Yeah.
Marcus, 9 words. You ready?
I was ready. Well, okay. Question.
Oh, this is a first.
So on the cover there, Slumdog is one word. Mm-hmm. Is Slumdog one word?
Sure.
Okay.
If it help, you want it to be one word.
I didn't ask that question.
Yes,
I would say it's one
word.
Okay.
Slumdog plays millionaire to help find his missing love.
Damn, dude. It's so good. It's so good.
That's pretty good.
This is a love story.
It is. Even on the
that's
on
what like Riley. Did Riley like it? Because I talked to her at church and I said, "Did you guys watch it yet?" And she said, "Oh, it's tonight." She said she just remembered it being really boring, and I never have found this movie. It moves so fast paced.
I've never
so
said
she is working on a so Rem's family has done something called Rawson Weekend for
30-some years.
When was Jamie
40
born?
Years. 40 years.
So Riley is in a big project working on that. So she's working on the computer while I'm watching it. But many instances, she's turned watching the TV for 10, 15 minutes straight. Mm-hmm. So I think she was intrigued for sure.
Yeah, it's not a slow movie. This is not
a
boring
movie.
movie.
It's not boring.
It's fast. And actually, that's one of my notes in one of the only reasons I didn't give it and we give our rankings at the end. One of the reasons I didn't give it a absurdly high ranking was I actually thought the camera work and stuff annoyed me. It took away from the movie, and
that's his style. Like even
on the cover of this, it's like
it's
blurred,
and it's not a U.S. movie; it's a British movie.
So other things that he has Danny Boyle has done that you would know, 127 Hours.
Yeah.
28 Days Later, you guys might have seen. Train Spotting, which is a really old one. Steve Jobs.
Train Spotting is a wild movie.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Fassbender? Steve Jobs?
Who?
Who plays Steve Jobs?
No, it's yes. Sorry, it's not the Ashton Kutcher one. It's the Fassbender one.
Yeah. That's the better one.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd agree with that.
Not that I don't.
I
like
actually like the
some
portrayal
Ashton
of Ashton Kutcher's better, but the movie itself was better.
Yes, I'll give you that.
And there's one other movie I think you guys would have heard of that he's done, but that's the style of movie that, like, you know, almost like you're on something when you're watching this movie.
Yes. The plot and the acting was so good, it overcame it for me. It's just not.
I mean, this won tons of awards. Like, if you go to it won. I was wrong. It won 8 Oscars.
Holy cow!
Which is crazy that you can't find it streaming anywhere.
Well, I think there's something
going on.
There's something going on. They took it off so that they could bring it out of the vault and charge a bunch of money again. Like,
something there for sure.
Yeah. But you can't. You
can't remake this.
Or maybe Fandango paid
I think you could. I think you absolutely could.
But
Dev Patel, Dev Patel, this is his first role.
I know. He's fantastic.
This is his first
role. It's his first role. Like, he's in,
Wow.
he's a supporting actor in one other, like, show for, like, one episode.
Wow.
And
Dev Patel is a fantastic actor.
Talk about, like, him.
Yeah,
and, like,
one
we
of the
talked
questions
about.
I haven't seen
Alan
Monkey
Rickman.
Man yet. Have you guys seen that?
I obviously haven't seen a lot of his stuff. Lion, I have not seen.
Lion's better than this.
Yeah,
Lion was an Academy Award nominee.
I think
year,
it
right?
won, but we can check that
I'm
out.
not sure. It's better than this movie.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
By the way, we're watching producer Nate's demise right now, just so you guys know. Sam Darnold is Sam Darnolding, for those wondering.
It was nominated. Lion was nominated for 6 awards, one of them being Picture of the Year, so they lost to somebody.
I believe...
Losers. What a loser. 2016.
It was the same...
16? That was probably in the, like, Spotlight era.
It was the same... I want to say it was the same year that movie... Was it Moonlight?
Oh, geez.
Came out? And I had the choice between Lion and
Spotlight.
Moonlight. No. Moonlight.
Was that right?
No, but Spotlight was the movie of the year too.
But it was
Spotlight's
I was
really
on a
good.
plane.
Revenant came out that year too.
I was on a plane choosing between Moonlight and Lion, and I chose wrong.
You chose wrong.
You chose Moonlight for the plane?
Oh man,
that might be worse. That might be worse than me choosing Black Swan for the plane.
We all chose Black Swan for the plane. So I
did not see that coming.
I did. So then, by the time I get to the parts where it's like, well, I'm not watching this on a plane, I had no time to watch a movie. I don't even remember what I did. They should have
played Minesweeper.
They should have something on there.
They should just not have that be a plain movie.
Correct. Yeah. Or, it's 2025. We should have, like, screens that you can't see unless you're sitting right.
Jessica's phone.
Yeah, Riley's phone.
Your phone can do it.
Jessica's phone. Well, everything's on your phone now, right? I mean, all the times I've been on a plane lately, I'm watching on my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true, too.
But not back then.
Yeah.
It's right there for everybody
for everyone walking down the aisle.
Also,
hi, Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis.
So I had the choice recently to choose between a direct flight or a connecting flight to Florida, and I chose a connecting flight on if there even is a first class, on Spirit. Instead of a connecting flight,
instead of a straight
economy on American or whatever. So I'm gonna report back and let you guys know.
Wait, hold on. You haven't done this yet?
No.
So you're flying direct?
I'm flying direct.
No. I'm all about
class,
direct.
but it's Spirit.
I'm all direct. Spirit is terrible.
No, that's the dilemma.
Unless you want to sponsor the podcast, in which case.
Did you see that bit that my comedian did on Spirit? Isn't that hilarious?
That was him?
That's him.
That went super viral.
Oh yeah, he's a great comedian. I mean, he's good friends with all the big guys.
Yes, the announcer or the stewardess talking over the.
Yeah, so his joke, if you look him up, his name's Kevin Bozeman. He was just here in Indy at Helium. He's actually headlining MGM next month. He's a buddy of mine, and one of his viral videos is a bit where he goes, "I love Spirit Airlines. Everyone hates Spirit Airlines, but I love Spirit Airlines because you can call them up and be like, hey, I want a flight from Indy to Vegas. How much is that?" And they'll be like, "How much you got?" And he'll be like, and he's like, "I got $43.16. And they're like, "That's crazy. That's exactly how much it is. How did you know that?" That's
a very good joke.
He's great. Kevin Bozeman. Funny dude.
That's awesome.
Does he want to come to our live?
I almost invited him. If we filmed on a day he was here, I'd bring him in for a show.
So Chris Juice Jones.
Oh yeah.
We sent out a bunch of Facebook invites, and he said, "I'll accept, but only if you allow me to be on an episode."
Dude, he can
and I was
hang
like,
out.
"If you come here, we'll get you on because he's the funniest."
He's
person
a comedian.
I know. He's the old cut. Well, I guess you might not have seen him.
It was right before your time.
He's so funny.
We used to do talent show at Fall Classic.
Oh, that's cool.
It was just always. And he comes out and does a full 25-minute stand-up.
Wow.
And it was
25 minutes is a long time.
It was like HBO worthy.
Wow.
And this guy's funny. Very,
Oh,
very funny.
Is that what he does now?
No, he sells
he's
cars.
a car salesman. Does a really
It's
great
so
job.
funny because I was talking to Bozeman. We went out to Park's place, and I was talking about that episode of Fresh Prince where Will Smith's cousin or friend is a comedian, and he comes into town, and Will's like, "I can be a comedian." Have you seen that episode? So he gets up on stage. I think this is in his book too, which I've brought. This is 2 episodes now. I've talked about Will Smith's book. We absolutely have to cover Will Smith's book. But basically, he's like, this is easy. So then Will Smith gets up on stage, and it's one of those really heartfelt moments. He bombs.
Yeah.
Comes off stage, and his friend is like, you don't take me seriously. Like, this is my livelihood. Like, this is a big deal. And I was just talking to Bozeman because that's what he's done for. I mean, he put 500,000 miles on a Camry as a comedian, like getting big
Anywhere
in the
you could get a
Midwest.
gig.
Yeah.
Kind of
Going.
reminds you of
Good
like
for
the
him.
Dave Grohl, like
Yeah.
traveling
Yeah,
everywhere.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He'd be great to have on the show. Next time he's in town, I'll see if I
So
can get him.
Dane Espigard is in town tonight. He's picking up an RV from Wabash, Indiana. We're gonna have breakfast tomorrow morning, but I almost invited him.
That's hilarious.
yeah,
we should
crazy.
start having people just hang out here.
Just come and hang.
Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna charge Dane.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's how we're gonna fund the show. That's what I'm saying.
I just remember the first time that I met Dane was like one of the very first. It was
National trip basketball.
We had the national trip, and Adrian Ivasic had taken me out on my bachelor party because he said he didn't get to
sounds
come
dangerous.
to my bachelor party. It was extremely dangerous. And then we end the night crashing a DVM party, and I'm a brand new
this is
DM.
SLC.
Oh yeah, SLC.
This is San Diego SLC.
Yeah, SLC.
And I'm
a brand new DM.
Adrian's line was, "You guys thought I sold all this Cutco to save the money? This is just to keep up with my lifestyle." It was awesome.
So we crash this DVM party, okay? And I'm talking to Dane, and I know exactly who he is, and I keep calling him the wrong name on purpose. I'm like that level.
You called Chris?
I'm at that level. I called him Chris Naku.
Yeah. They were the same person in my head.
And I just kept calling him that on purpose.
Oh, that's great.
It's funny. Our former employer, Brett's current employer, there's a handful of people where like they're the same. Jim and Chris Chody are the same person.
Yeah.
Like you grow up through the business with somebody and you become their identity.
I think you attract people like you, and then people like you tend to stick around with you too. So then you just
start talking and laughing like each other.
Jim and Chris are weirdly close. That one's weirdly close. All right, what made us?
Let's move on.
What made us stop and think? You know, 2 people are weirdly close: Salim and Jamal. They're brothers. Their mom gets knocked out, and they are on their own for a while. My first hidden gem was them running from the cops and doing the DX.
So we're jumping straight to hidden gems.
It was great. Well, sorry, it's just in my. Oh, I'm doing something new. I'm just going straight through, and then we'll revisit. Because I noticed some of my quotes are things that made me think. So
we don't have to be rigid.
yeah, we're good.
Okay.
But you ruined it. So
He goes, my first hidden gem. I was like, whoa. Come on, host.
what made us stop and think?
What's funny is like so in that scene they're running through the slums, and they do a pan out of what the slums actually look like, and it's just this big steel.
Clearly, that scene is designed to show you the
poverty landscape.
The
Shanty
what it
town.
looks like. It was Bombay, and then it became Mumbai.
And it is miles of scrap metal pieced together for these shacks where these people were living.
Trash everywhere, animals all over the place.
It's almost like you've ever gone to one of those older neighborhoods where they've all got the chain link fence, and everybody will use their neighbor's wall of chain link fence to just add on to. It's like that, but with an actual dwelling And it's just like, hey, I'm gonna use your wall.
I never wrote this down, but if I'm that cop, no way am I continuing to chase.
What's
those kids
there? That's
that
an
long.
ego thing. That's a I want to beat somebody up thing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Chris
why
would chase those kids.
That's why they're doing that.
But not me. I would just be like, yeah, you guys are fine.
It's so funny you say that because I've got this property in Broad Ripple that has fences lined up to each other, and I don't think any of the fences are mine because they both need to be fixed, but they're facing the other way. I'm like, I'm not fixing that. Both sides are your fences.
And
the only fence is mine in the back.
You just have your, yes.
Yeah. So I don't even need a fence.
That's how it is on my house, except I have two sides, and then one side is not my fence.
So in newer neighborhoods, I think HOAs have become aware of the issues that causes if there is something that happens. So now it's like everybody has their own fence, and then it's like 6 inches under the fence.
Between?
Yeah.
So then what do you do with that ground in between?
It's enough to get
whoever's
a mower through,
mowing that.
So then it's 12.
You're mowing.
It's way more than 6.
Yeah, it's 6 inches both sides, but 2 feet. I'm being hyperbolic.
6 inches both sides, 2 feet. Got it. Makes so much
24.
sense.
Do the math. Carry the 1.
I did like how back and forth the movie was, reliving it. They're reliving it together as a story. There are a lot of aspects of this movie I really enjoy.
So I think that's a pretty unique, the way that they tell this story by using the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is very unique.
I thought it was a true story up until 24 hours ago. I'm not kidding.
It's based on a novel.
I'm not kidding. I had to look it up halfway through. I'm like, wait. So I'm like, hold up. And then I Googled it, and they're like, no, you idiot. This isn't a true story.
Now, Lion is a true story.
Oh, well, you get off of it, bro. We didn't do that.
I know, but it's better.
A novel that was called
This is what he did. When I saw what's the movie, the musical in LA, La La Land. Yeah. When I watched La La Land, we go to the movies. I never get to go to the movies. I'm all excited. I have my popcorn. And I get back and I'm like, oh, La La good. And I tell Marcus, I went to see La La Land. He's like, Greatest Showman's better. I'm sorry. I wasn't comparing it to anything. I was just saying La La Land's good.
I love La La Land.
I didn't remember that, but that's great. Another note that I wrote down here during the millionaire scenes is when he shakes his hand for the first time. Dev Patel, like the host, sticks his hand out for a real handshake. And Dev Patel just sticks his fingers out there and does the this thing.
Why is that?
Oh my gosh. I have no idea, but nothing drives me more crazy.
Handshake?
I shake a lot of people's hands. Nothing drives me more crazy than when somebody does that. I'm like, I just want to leave.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want anything to do with you if you shake my hand away.
There aren't 3. I don't know if there's ever been a room of 3 people that have shaken as many people's hands,
dude.
Because there were summers we shook.
Dude, not
thousands.
only that. So did we talk about Burn Boot Camp? So Kelsey,
we haven't talked about.
Okay,
it. I
so Kelsey goes to Burn Boot Camp.
Okay,
I join her, but I'm trying to explain to her like if a man likes lifting weights, you can't. I'm not gonna get anything out of this. Mm-hmm. They don't even have the size of weights, and I'm not bragging. Like any man who's trying to get bigger does not do Burn Boot Camp. So I'm trying to explain.
I've never been.
She's like, no, it's different. It's not like all the other ones. No, it's the exact same. So, but I go to support her, and it's during that week where both of you were deathly sick, and everybody's posting to Facebook, had to stay home throwing up for 24 hours. Everyone's got this bug. Kids are staying home. They're canceling school in some cases, and so we go to this freaking boot camp. And they're like, turn to your partner, give him a high five, left and right. There's this dude who keeps on trying to find me in the class to give me a high five. And I'm walking over to the side, getting the antibacterial every time. Like he going out of my way.
Cover, and all he wanted to do was give you a high five.
No, man. Like it got to the point where I'm like, oh, he's messing with me. Like he wasn't. He just like, he did Burn Boot Camp for the camaraderie. And I was like, Kelsey, you got to high five this guy because I'm not going to get sick for his little... I mean, he was like fine, and he was sweaty, and he was like doing 3 reps when everyone else is doing 10.
I don't doubt he was a cover podcast listener because I don't think we ever told you when we went to the hockey game.
Yeah.
In front of us, right in front of us,
Kevin Long
was a huge cover podcast listener. Kevin Long, Wabash Delt? No, not a Delt.
Definitely cool not enough. A top 40.
Not
I'll
cool enough to be a Delt.
What
That's
fraternity?
Sure. Beta.
Cool. Greek.
Sphinx Club, even.
So
we still love you, Kevin.
There's a. I probably can't say it.
Marcus found his line.
Wow,
he found his line.
That's very mature of you.
Did either of you find yourself going like, "Wow, God positions our entire lives for whatever the end is"? You could look at it from a Christian perspective of, oh my gosh, Jamal's entire life, while he didn't know why all these horrible things were happening to him,
was to save Latika?
All came to save Latika.
It was to win 20 million.
20 million rupees.
But it all, I mean, I couldn't help but jot it down where it was like, okay.
Well, it's interesting because the whole point of the movie is it is written, which would have been was it Hindu undertone?
Okay,
it's not. It was an Islam undertone.
Well, who attacked them?
The Hindus attacked the Islam.
Hindus attacked
the Islam. The Islamites.
Jeez. The Hindus attacked the Muslims.
Okay, so Jamal was Muslim.
Yes. I believe so.
Yeah. Okay, got
it. Because Salim is doing his prayers at one point in time. I don't think Jamal probably identifies with any specific
Jamal's
religion.
Community grew up in a Muslim community.
In what it appears to be a Muslim community. Yeah. And that's why he knew the story about the Hindu god.
Right.
Because it was specifically that god that had caused them to attack the Muslims.
And was that depiction there when the Hindus are attacking the Muslims? That was like some kid they dressed up as the god?
Know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know why he's there.
What they call it,
Rama?
Rama,
yeah.
Which is
there's so many Hindu
the first time I ever saw that was in The Little Princess. Phenomenal movie to watch with your kids. The Little Princess. Yeah.
I feel like we've watched that.
You would remember.
Yeah. Okay.
It's great.
But Rama is in the Little Princess?
Yeah, because she's from India.
Got it.
I'm just saying, movies teach.
They do. They do teach. Yeah. So we get into Jamal's. He's got tons of experiences that lead to each of the answers. It's hard to beat the poop story to get his idol. I'll call his idol's autograph.
The actor.
Yeah. Oh man. So and his celebration after getting the autograph.
Yes! This is such a great way to tell a story of someone's life.
It is.
It's so
having
unique.
them being beat.
No, it's having them recall all of these different things.
Did any of the stories, any of the
just so happened to line up with how old he was?
Did any of the recollections would you call your favorite or any of your favorites? Because I think they probably go through, I don't know, probably 9, 10, 11 of them, where he's getting tortured, he's getting beat, and
like
basically
which question?
Yeah, like basically they don't believe there's any way this Slumdog could know all of these answers, so they're making him prove it, and he's basically finally tells these stories as to what any stories stick out to is like, oh, this was
the Benjamin Franklin story sticks out to me.
It stood out to me too. That's funny you said that.
Yeah.
Because how would he know what is on a $100 bill if he doesn't even know what's on their currency?
And that was what's interesting is when he said, "What's on our $20 bill?"
And I thought that exchange with him and the Americans, where he's taking them out there, they robbed the car.
Tell him all the wrong things about the Taj Mahal.
He says you wanted to experience the real India, right? So he takes them out there. And then he's showing them around, and while he's showing them around, Salim and the gang come and take everything away from that guy's car, right? And the American, and then the driver is trying to beat him up, and the American guy's like, "You have insurance, right? Jeez, what's your problem?" You know, and then Jamal goes, "You wanted to see the real India? This is it." And then the lady's like,
pay him.
"Well, let me show you the real America." Gives him $100 bill, and then he gives that $100 bill to the kid.
I think part of that is he has no concept of what 100 is.
Well, I agree, but the fact that the kid knew who was on the
knew
the blind kid knew who was on the $100 bill.
So you can go one of two ways: either he did know and he just really wanted to help out his blind friend, or he just didn't know.
It doesn't matter. Like, it didn't matter to him. I don't think
it did, though, because at that point he had been stealing to survive.
But the only thing that mattered to him was getting to Latika.
During that phase of their life was probably the most well off they were. Mm-hmm. Their time,
swimming
around the Taj Mahal.
That like they're doing the best that they have. I think they even showed a cut scene of them either eating well or smoking a hookah or something like that. Or they were clearly doing well. What I was curious about was so this kid was just the genius of the group, the kid that got his eyes taken out because the blind singers get twice the
genius. No, he could just sing the best.
But obviously he knew the $100 bill, so he had knowledge that others wouldn't have. Was he?
Maybe.
I think that you just call it Benjamins, like stacking.
I thought there was going to be. I hate to bring this up,
Benjamin Franklin,
but I thought there was going to be a P. Diddy reference because there's a song called "It's All About the Benjamins, Baby." That
they did have some pretty modern music that one.
Dude,
I wanted
is it called Paper
Bang,
Planes?
Bang,
Is that
Bang,
the name?
Bang.
I didn't realize that was from this movie. That was an epic song at that time.
I don't know if it was from this movie.
Is this what made it fame?
Well, no, probably not. It was famous. And they used it.
That was
and
a
it
great
was
song.
Perfect for that.
By the way, then I listened to the lyrics of the song because I'm actually watching with the captions on, and I'm like, oh man, I just sang this out loud.
I mean, the chorus has 3 gunshots in it.
Yeah. It's probably the first red flag, but
I'd like to just see a video of Brett just going back through all the songs he knows by heart.
We need to do a movie for Brett. We need to do Friday or Compton.
Friday was recommended by Bryce. You're going to be shocked, from Elkhart. Recommended Friday.
For the cover?
I don't know
for
Friday.
the cover. Yeah.
I've seen Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, Straight Outta Compton's amazing.
I don't know Friday.
Straight Outta Compton's actually a great movie.
I know 8 Mile. I've seen 8 Mile.
8 Mile.
That's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Awesome. Straight Outta Compton, I would love. Straight Outta Compton had, I believe, some Oscar nods. I think there was.
Oh, maybe.
Straight Outta Compton's great. Straight Outta Compton's fantastic. We'll do it.
All right. I another thing I wrote down is that bad people will always take advantage of desperate people. Whether they're kids, whether they're not. We live in a broken world. There are bad people. We need to be aware of this, and if we can, do something about it. Like, and I don't know if that's the whole point. Like, I don't know if that's something that the director or writer was trying to get at or not, but the reality is that there's always going to be bad people here on Earth. And if good people just turn a blind eye, if we just sit here in Carmel, Indiana and do nothing, like, we're not helping, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the whole movie is just them looking for opportunities to take advantage of anyone that's in a position that if they're able to perceive themselves as, hey, we're here to help. And it is sad because it makes you realize, like, well, this is really happening. This is actually happening.
Different? Is it different at all from, like, Potter in It's a Wonderful Life? Because he takes advantage of people who are...
It's a good question. I think
it is different. It is interesting, the difference between hand-to-hand combat and snipers, though. Like, I would say Potter's a sniper. He doesn't necessarily see the damage he's causing, whereas hand-to-hand is just a little bit more real. Not to say one is better than the other.
Sure.
But it is harder. I feel like it takes if Potter was confronted with the things that happened to people because of the moves he made, maybe he would see, kind of like Scrooge would see his ways. Whereas these people are doing this to people.
Directly.
Like, directly to them. Which is a different level of evil.
Specifically for profit.
It's funny you're talking about, like, what we can do. Like, I did go to Costa. So the 2 trips I had out of the country for missions trips, one to Costa Rica and one to the Dominican Republic. What I noticed about, especially the kids in all those places, is they're happy, dude. They're happy. They're content. In fact, one of the notes was the research that Simone Bifoy, the screenwriter, said he took 3 research trips to India to interview street children, finding himself impressed with their attitudes.
Yeah.
I mean, they're living simple lives. It doesn't take much to get them. Really, the only thing they care about is their next meal and shelter.
Well, I always felt the same way when I went on mission trips, so I get that. But I'm talking about he wasn't interviewing the kids that were being taken advantage of.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this is not him. Yeah, you're right.
You know, like
two different groups of people.
They're certainly poor. They're definitely desperate when it comes to food, but oftentimes you'll see a better sense of community, people taking care of each other, helping to raise all these other kids because, you know, everybody's trying to make it together. Mm-hmm. So there's that aspect of it. But in terms of these orphans being taken advantage of, whether it's slavery or whatever, right? Them being able to, that's the kind of stuff that hopefully we can make a difference. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's wild to me that with that big group that they would go out and be like, hey, go raise your money, whatever the case may be, and then they would come back. Do you think there's inside of that child's mind, is there not a knowledge of I'm getting completely taken advantage of? Is it fear? Is it just
they feel taken care of?
Yeah, they're taken care
of. It's not until later where some of them are abused. Mm-hmm. Like up front, it's the Coke, it's the shelter, it's the community, all the other kids.
They even say he must be a saint.
Then once they got him hooked, they don't let him leave for fear of them. I mean, when they're in that alley, he says, "Go." He never forgets a face, and when he runs off, he goes, "I'll sing at your funeral," because he knows that like this guy is relentless.
It's not even crazy though to think about. You know, you get taken in by this guy. You go out, and you're begging, but you're also being fed every night. You have a place to sleep. You're having fun. You're in this.
It's better
group.
than what you.
You don't view it as begging. You view it as working.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're working, but they're getting paid by the fact that they're being taken care of, right? So, I mean, it's not hard to see from the kid's perspective how they can be taken advantage of.
Especially because you see those two where they came from, literally not knowing the next place they're going to sleep and if there's going to be coverage from rain.
Yeah, they're living out on this trash heap, basically.
Yeah.
Sleeping under this makeshift tent.
Yeah.
Let's move to so Salim does have a moment of I don't know what you would call it, enlightenment, where he realizes, dude, Jamal's next. He's about to get his eyes literally burned out, and he starts an escape. Latika is about to join them on the train, and he, as we'll notice, he continues to do over and over again. Totally screws her over.
Dude, Kelsey was so mad.
Yeah.
Kelsey gets so into movies. Like not just
like she's angry at the character as if they're a real human that just made that decision. Yeah.
And like mad if we're not all as invested.
That led to them basically running on trains. Them being on the roofs of the trains, jumping from car to car, stealing stuff from people inside. Do we know? Does that actually happen? Are there people that will, just live on the top of trains and steal stuff? I mean, when we were in,
dude, we know that happens in New York.
But on top of
I don't know about on top, but
that's wild. So we went to Prague, and we were taking an overnight train to Budapest.
This guy
and
he's a
world traveler
and
place after place.
Listen,
where are you going to next?
The conductor.
He could answer that question.
It's the end of the night. And he goes,
it's in 2 weeks.
All right, boys. Well, it's me, Miser, Doherty, and Logan Ellison. And he's like, all right, boys, we'll bring you tea and crumpets at whatever. It's 9 a.m. before we get to Budapest. But hey, lock your door. because the gypsies are known to come on at stops, and we don't want you to get anything stolen. And we all start laughing. He's like, lock your door.
Well,
so I have no doubt that
when we were in Costa Rica, when we were all in Costa Rica, I guess Rem, you weren't there, right?
Didn't you get your passport stolen?
Yeah, from our safe.
Oh, that makes me upset.
That's rough.
That's not good.
It was from the safe.
Especially because I have always felt like the safes are there for people to basically take your most important things. Like, hey, here's where you put the things we're going to take.
Totally. It definitely changed my view of the safe.
If you could just...
Why is there a door on the other side?
Because we were literally... We went to the hotel.
You know what's really hard? When we have to go through all these
resort.
people's stuff to find their things, how could we get them to just put them all...
Like the things that we really want that they don't want us to take.
And when you go to the resort and you're like, we put it in the safe, they're like, you must not have put it in the safe. It's like, well, it was in the room.
And they're wearing the watch.
Oh my gosh. Well, apparently we find out later Costa Rica is like I don't know if it still is, the place where like the most passports get stolen.
Oh yeah, not only passports, but like they said, when you're don't take pictures with your hand outside of the bus because they will jump up with a knife, cut your hand off for the camera.
Whoa.
And I kid you not, on the way there, some idiot from our class put their hand out and they didn't have a knife, but they got their arm almost taken off. And that was like the rest of the trip. We're like, I guess we're going to listen to these guys.
This is on a mission trip with school or something?
Oh, yeah.
Costa Rica.
I was 17.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was, I don't know if this is in Costa Rica, but me and Rod were at a bar and this guy's like, hey, how do you want to pay? Whatever. And they made us pay as soon as we got there. And I'm like 20, 21, 22. I give him my card. He's like, hey, we need your driver's license for this to work. And I'm like, all right, cool. Give my driver's license. And he's definitely back there photocopying it, everything. There's no doubt in my mind. They're just, and then they all give it all back. And I'm like, all right, that was weird. And looking back, I'm like, what an idiot. What was I thinking? Like, do you want my soch
What country
too?
was that?
I want to say Cabo.
Oh, yeah, Mexico. So, like, if you would have said Europe, I would have been like, I don't know.
Yeah, Mexico for sure. Yeah, whoops. Anyway.
Where are you going to next, Brett?
I'm going to go to work tomorrow.
Which country is that in?
It's in Indianapolis.
Did you go to Iceland? Have you ever been to Iceland?
Yes.
Is that a cool trip?
Very cool. I did 24 hours, so I cut the trip in half from everybody else, and I packed. So literally you land, and you go to the lagoon. That's like the warm, like it's
Warm
2 degrees
water?
outside, and you're in warm water. That was super
like
cool.
a hot spring.
We went and saw the Northern Lights. We took limes. We took limes 40 minutes to the coast. Limes, the scooters.
Oh,
It's freezing
So I'm talking
cold.
I thought you were
For a
talking about
second.
an animal or something.
No,
I was trying to
we took
figure out
limes
what
all the way
you're
there.
talking
We got pictures of Northern Lights. We came back to the main part of town, and we showed them to locals, and they said, we've lived here 30 years. We've never seen it like that. Like, it was perfect. The day they were there was awesome. We ate some puffin.
Love puffing this time of year.
I want to say we had something else. Reindeer. We had reindeer as well.
Did you have the whale? Isn't there like some sort of whale
I think
dish or
there
something?
is whale something or other.
Yeah.
Tillicum. It's called
I can't remember.
Tillicum
It's
dish.
terrible.
Hey,
like
you know what I was
gross.
thinking about it at dinner tonight?
Whale.
We're eating. I had date night with Charlie, and I can't remember if she asked this or I just thought it randomly. So we're just going to give her the credit for a second. We're eating chicken, and she goes, "Dad, is this rooster?" And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm going to start ordering rooster.
That's awesome.
Do we eat rooster?
Probably without knowing it. Yeah.
Why don't we talk about eating rooster? I'm going to start talking about eating
Feels
rooster.
weird. Here's a question: is Salim a hero or a villain?
Where at in the story?
Is he a hero or a villain? You get tagged with one. Which one you tagging him with?
I don't know. She wouldn't have had that. It depends.
She wouldn't have needed saved.
She wouldn't need to say. She wouldn't have. I mean, there's something to be said for the majority of your life living a certain way, and like you think you have one good year and it changes everything.
Sure.
Like, I don't know.
Jamal's not even alive if it's not for Salim.
That's also true. I also think to.
Can you just separate people between hero and villain?
Do we have to define people?
He kind of reminds me of Loki. right?
Are we talking Marvel?
Yeah.
Man, it's been a minute.
Loki's kind of like a last second right thing.
Loki doesn't know right from wrong.
Like he does the right thing sometimes, but otherwise he's self-interested.
He wants to be good, but he always chooses the wrong thing. But then at the end, he chooses the right thing. I mean,
well, not always.
That's like Johnny Depp. That's like Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Which side is he on at the moment?
I think...
I feel uncomfortable calling him a villain.
But I also don't feel great calling him a hero. But I think I would call him a hero. At the end, he does the right thing, and he knows he's getting killed for this.
It's a great, yeah.
I think he knows.
Well, so. And Jamal says that to Latika, right? He says, "Oh, Salim will help us." Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Yeah, there's no chance he's gonna."
You still believe in him.
He's the reason. So he's the reason that I'm in this position.
Jamal's unwavering faith in everything he believed all came to fruition.
That's true,
including how to get on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire,
which is why I looked up if it's fiction or not, and it is.
That's great, though. That you actually, it's great that you thought that it was a true story.
It was way cooler when I thought it was a true story.
Here's a big question. What is this call center for? What are they doing?
Selling
AT&T.
They're selling internet.
Yeah. They're selling internet. You just knew
No,
that.
they're selling phones is what they were doing, I think.
Because they say that.
I think they're selling phones, yeah.
Okay. They're selling
phones
in his
phone
script.
plans and stuff.
In the UK?
Somewhere.
Yes. Scotland. The lady who answered the first time was Scottish.
Yeah, well, they had the signs up for the different areas.
It was everywhere. That's how he knew the answer to that one.
It was definitely Europe.
He goes, I'm right down the road by the lock.
Yeah.
Which one? The Big Ben.
Big Ben lock.
Hangs up.
Yeah. What was funny is like you thought he nailed it. You're like, oh yeah, it's good. And she closed.
You guys ever? We've all made a lot of calls before for sales. You guys ever call somebody and you're just going down through and they finally answer and you forget who you're calling?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the worst.
Or they call back and you're like, I got to answer this. So you're just like flipping through all the pages.
What's the phone number? Where's it at?
She's like, hey, I'm like, who's this?
This person's definitely spending $2,500.
Hey, how are you?
Oh. Or like Irene Miller.
What'd you call for? I don't know. Tell me. Do you know?
Yes.
John Smith.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, because you don't know which list you called from.
Or Tina Miller. Do any of these names ring a bell? All right, I'll call you back in 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Oh man.
That was so bad.
It was so easy though. Like those days in sales, I think about when I was 19 to 22 and my lifestyle I could pay off school, but also just making $2,000 in a summer part-time was so cool. And the ability to turn nothing into money just by working had never been a thing to me, except for mowing lawns. But like this was like a real job.
Yeah.
So cool. Like just those memories, the feelings you get from a push week.
Did you ever have to call off of an office phone?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So
I mean, I didn't have to, but I did.
Okay. Got it. So I grew up in the business in a phase where you just didn't have a cell phone with unlimited minutes, for sure not. And we would call off office phones. So there would be people that call back and be like, hey, I had a missed call from this number. And it would be like, what's your name? So like basically everybody in the office would be trained like how to get the person's name. And then it's like, Joy Miller. Hey, Joy Miller. And then like two reps would be like, that's mine. It's like, no. And then they'd be fighting over it. And then finally
one of my least favorite stories in Cutco is when I was the branch manager for Warsaw. Uh-huh. I get a call from Irene Miller. And she says, I want an Ultimate set, which for anyone that doesn't know was the most expensive thing that you could get. And I remember having the conversation with her, like, you know how much that costs, right? And she's like, yeah, I know how much it costs. And then I start putting it together and I realized that I've actually gone and sharpened all of her kids' Ultimates, okay, and sold them more stuff. But I've never met.
Have you heard this story? Do you know where this is going?
But I've never met.
Serious?
But I've never. He's heard it before. He just doesn't remember. I've never met her before, and so I start to put everything together, and she says, "Yeah, I get Ultimates for all my grandkids for their weddings." It's like, well, how many grandkids do you have? You know, she said it's like 16. Okay, something like that, which definitely tracks with what I already know. And I think this is like the third or fourth grandkid's wedding. And what I tell her is, I'll tell you what, we'll do buy 3, get 1 free. Because I'm 100% sure she can afford it. These are the people that owned Newmar, like the big, RV place.
Yep.
And one of these RVs cost like $500,000 at the time. Now they're over like $1 million.
Yes. So I said, if you buy 3, you could do 1 free. And she says no, because that she likes to get them personalized. And I said, well, just call me. We'll get them personalized whenever you want. Like, no problem. I'll get you the plates. It's all good. How many do you want? You know, I just want the 1. So I sell the 1.
Get to the good part.
Okay. The next summer, I'm in Evansville. Remington's in Warsaw.
I've never heard the story. I'm dead serious.
Remington calls me. I had a $5,000 order, he says. Or just maybe over that.
No, it's even better. I'm calling everybody to find out if I can do this deal. Hey, can we do a buy 3, get 1 free ultimate? It was the customer. She told me. And I'm calling Rio. Rio goes, hold on, let me do the numbers. Calls me back. Yep, you can do this.
You can do anything, cool. Buy 3, get 1 free.
So it's like right before we report numbers. So on a Monday call, Nadine's going over, like our manager's going over like the state numbers, and I jumped to like number 2 because of this one order.
It's just the one order that this lady calls in and says to him, I heard we could buy 3, get 1 free. Is that still
paid
good?
For my whole month worth of expenses.
Is that still good? Remington's telling me this story, and I go, what was her name? I go, hold on, I can't remember. He goes, was it Irene Miller?
I'm like, yeah, dude, how'd you know?
I was so bad.
He starts telling me like this, and I'm like, oh, dude, it's got to be a different Irene Miller. Like, what's her number? He tells me the number. Oh, no, that's the right one.
I have her number saved in my phone.
He still has her number. Hold on. See if you have her number.
You know what the issue?
My phone's upstairs.
I'm gonna see.
Marcus deserves this L for not marketing his past
customers. I still have her number. Hey, I have her number right now. You guys want to call her? I bet she needs mine.
Irene, did you know you can still buy 3?
Dude, they sold
She's Amish, so she definitely
time.
Is not a listener of
they
this podcast.
They sold at the perfect time.
Or she's Mennonite.
Yeah, I'm assuming the RVs have electricity in them.
Oh yeah, that would have been weird.
That was awesome. Just terrible, but awesome.
His experience on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, get us back to Jamal. The host, you sense
he's a villain.
The host is a villain, and it's not even the money.
Nope.
It's that he's the star of the show.
Yes.
And he sees Jamal is the reason people are tuning in.
So I took a couple bathroom breaks and I didn't see the part where I thought he basically, it's made clear that he was a slumdog.
That's what he says.
Does he say that in the bathroom? Does he say that in the bathroom?
I didn't know that.
Because that's the scene I missed.
But you're right.
So in the bathroom he says, I
was
a slumdog, and you put together that he doesn't want someone else taking his limelight from exactly what he did.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, and he essentially gives Jamal the wrong answer, trying to get him to.
Yep.
But that's where Jamal's background is. He's like, everybody tries to take advantage of me. Everybody lies. I know, like he whittles it down to 2 answers
based on the
50.
I'm so glad I didn't remember him using the 50-50 and whittling it down to basically it's the guy's answer. He fed him, and the other one. That was a really well written part.
Oh, for
of the
sure.
movie.
The way he uses
amazing job.
Also, apparently, the India version didn't have the levels that you could lock in.
Yeah.
Remember,
you
like,
could lose
there
it
was
all.
like 2 or 3 levels that you could lock
which
in.
is way better.
No, but do you remember?
Well, if you don't lock it in?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
You could lock in a 16,000, 32,000, like something like that.
Right.
So where you went home with something.
But they made it sound like after you heard the question, then you decided if you were going to answer or not.
That's true.
Whereas in the American version, it was you would decide if you were moving on before you heard the question.
I think you could see the question,
you could say,
but not the
I'm
answers,
taking home the money. You could say at any point, I'm taking home the money.
You're saying you remember it. You see the question. You don't see the A, B, C, or D. And then you'd either say, I'm going to walk away with whatever.
It's either that or what Remington was saying.
Got it. Okay.
You could walk
But
away,
definitely
though.
different than what we
It was soft. It was soft compared to this.
This was like, hey, you're leaving with nothing or or all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy, so he's obviously, yes, villain, I would say, of the many villains of the
What's
the
a
movie.
first class century? Anybody know? For cricket?
Something with cricket.
The only time I've ever watched cricket was when we were in Ireland.
They showed
I watched it like every day.
They showed a replay of a fielder busting, like catching is the ball called the cricket? Is that actually the...
I thought it was a paddle.
Well, he's catching the ball, and then he breaks the wooden thing that the batter's protecting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that...
I think it might be... I don't know.
I thought it was when it...
Doesn't matter. 100 runs.
To talk about Harry Potter, because we haven't talked about it on the show yet. I thought her depiction of scoring in Quidditch was so ridiculous, and still until I started watching European sports scoring. It's ridiculous. 150 points for just going through this door while everyone else is playing for like 1 to 2 points at a time.
Well, I mean, Quidditch is absurd.
It's absurd.
Basically,
there's
love
no
Harry
point
Potter,
in playing.
But I love Harry Potter. All European.
But what I'm saying is, like, it's not that far off of other European scoring.
Other than the world championship or the World Cup, where Ireland wins, but Crumb gets the snitch.
Mm-hmm. Which, why would you grab it if you're not winning? That's dumb.
Agreed.
That's
stupid.
Dumb. That's dumb.
Why in the world is Crumb a hero? Of course Hermione gets with Crumb because she doesn't understand sports.
You don't like Hermione. I love it. So a fun fact for you: the guy in the movie that is the big movie actor, the big movie star that he gets the autograph from. He is actually the original first host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh, that's
in
great.
India.
Oh, wow.
He's the Regis.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so they kind of brought it full circle there.
That's awesome.
Okay, I got a question.
Yeah.
So towards the end here, Salim does his thing. Latika gets out. Where the heck did she learn how to drive? Serious question. Is that movie magic?
They're all taught. No, they're all taught how to drive stuff.
I would also say
she's from the slums.
Yeah, but
I know, but they
she's
teach
an
her
orphan.
like they had those little Volkswagens and stuff.
Yeah, and here's what I would say.
Like
I would
no
say
chance she
I would say
drive.
many kids in that situation have stolen many cars.
Oh,
together.
true. Yeah.
So I would say that's probably where.
All right, fine.
That's my
movie magic.
Yeah, it might be.
I was trying to play Brett. I was trying to play Brett with the movie magic.
It's fair.
Feels like she wouldn't have known how to do it.
Jai-ho.
I had a great rebuttal. It is written. What does the writer want us to know? Let's assume that he's writing this for a reason, and that it is written. The whole destiny play is he's trying to tell his watchers something. What do you think what do you think it is? Is it
fate comes to those with faith?
Fate comes to those with faith.
Mm-hmm. So your destiny, if you have enough faith, will come to fruition.
So he would believe in manifesting things. Got it. Okay.
That's secret.
Yep.
Mixed with religion, though, because the secret is religious free. It's almost its own religion.
New thought, new agey.
Yeah, new age, but it's not a religion. It's funny because we're filming this on the cusp of a pretty epic viral Joe Rogan podcast where they talk about where
Wesley Huff
is the first Christian to articulate Christianity that I know of from like an expert point of view. Why are we talking about this? Why did I bring this up?
Because fate.
Oh,
new agey.
Yeah, so the new agey thing, like Joe Rogan's big take is like, hey, a cult is where you follow one dude and his ideas. A religion is where that dude is dead. Is basically what he says. And for the most part, like a lot of religions fit that. Even Christianity fits that point of view. But
except Jesus isn't dead.
Correct.
Right. So you've got I think you've got a new age take on this movie where like they were Islamic, but that's not what this is about. This is about just new age belief. Is what I took from it.
Yeah, I guess I was a little more shallow, like in the realm of fate. Like nothing could stop these two, could stop Jamal and Latika from being together. Like I viewed it as their story, right? And so they are bound by
you
fate
take
to
it
be
as
together.
You take it as them being like their story. I think it was his relentless pursuit of her. I don't know that she did much other than just be pursued. It wasn't like she was trying to find him.
Oh no, but she always loved him.
Yeah, she was his friend.
And how do you know she wasn't trying to find him?
Because she would have said, I was looking for you.
Well, okay.
I think she gave up. For sure.
She totally gave up. In fact, when he came into the house, she said, leave and never come back for me.
She's almost trying to get him. But I think she's looking
I'm not
out for him.
I'm not saying
She's
I
looking
wouldn't do
out
the
for him.
same thing if I'm her. I'm just saying she definitely wasn't pursuing it.
You know
But
what I
that's
would
the
do?
it is
Make a
written
much
part,
better
the
sandwich.
fate part.
What was up with that sandwich, by the way?
She was like the oldest lettuce.
No. The sandwich was great. Then all of a sudden they're like, hey, let's put this unknown substance right in the middle of it.
It reminded me.
It's India, man.
Have you guys seen Minority Report?
Oh, I love Minority Report.
Okay, do you know
have we not done a Tom Cruise movie yet?
We need to.
I
just saw a
Tom
stunt of him
Cruise.
doing his own motorcycle off the mountain. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Dude, he flies on that plane. He's hanging onto that plane. That's a real stunt.
So, but in Minority Report, remember when he gets his eyes redone?
Yeah.
And he
Great
grabs
scene.
the wrong sandwich?
Yes.
That's what that sandwich reminded me of. That's what it reminded me.
Wow.
Okay,
Why did they leave that other sandwich in there? As soon as you saw it, you knew he was going to eat that sandwich.
I mean, if you
and
saw-
the worst part is, the other sandwich is right there waiting to be eaten, even after all that.
So
I'm so hungry in that scene.
Did you guys see the screenshot I sent to you today of Google Docs trying to correct me?
Yeah, but I didn't get it.
So I'm telling this story about how I get so passionate about certain things
In your
that I
book.
forgot to. Yeah, in my book, I forget to do certain things. ... like eating.
Okay.
And Google tries to autocorrect it to ... I like eating.
Nice.
Thought you were Rem.
Yes. Go ahead.
Last note that I had
Yep.
worth really talking about. I actually think this is a much better movie if he misses the last question.
I thought for a second when he guessed he was going to be incorrect.
It would be better for the storytelling, but the especially American audience would hate it.
It's a better movie if he misses it.
Yeah.
Where everybody's sad and he's like,
But
I'm just going
he's
to see,
not sad,
I'm
and
going to
then
find
and then
what-
he finds her, and that was his entire purpose.
Yeah.
And he
I
has
totally
no money,
agree.
and she's still there.
I totally agree.
I think it's a better movie if he misses it. I thought that last question, they set it up the whole time, and I just love.
Do you think they filmed both and then screened it?
I don't know. That's a great question. There was a fun fact about it. So it was a straight to DVD release in the States.
Oh.
And they sent the wrong copies, thousands of wrong copies, like basically jackets with no DVDs in them. And so, and then they resend them really fast to actually get the movie out there, and it didn't have any of the extras. So there was there's this movie with the releases that we've seen on streaming and there's some weird things going on with this movie.
There's maybe a
Just
podcast about the weird stuff,
some sort
about
of corruption
it somewhere,
around
for sure.
this movie.
It have you guys witnessed this in other Indian movies? A weird dance with the whole cast at the end. I feel like I've seen this
Bollywood.
before.
Yeah, it's
It's
like the whole
Bollywood.
thing.
So this is a thing. This
Yeah.
is okay.
And it was
And it
especially
was
really
big
big
at the
at that
time.
time.
Yeah.
Got it.
And Kelsey said, would you believe me if I said me and my best friend learned this entire dance? And I said, absolutely.
Yes,
I would do
100%.
that.
What's weird is to see the characters who played villains and horrible humans dancing alongside everybody
them.
else. It like almost ruins. I'm like gripped by this whole movie, and then it's like, hey, I'm like,
Jai ho!
what is happening?
Totally. That song hit big time too, by the way. That song hit big. You
was
know
it
what
big
movie they
before?
do that dancing in?
The wedding. There's a
Yeah.
wedding at the end.
Yeah.
What is it?
The Perfect Couple.
Yes.
It's not a movie, it's a miniseries,
Yes.
which is phenomenal. I was so hooked by
who's
everything.
that?
Martha's Vineyard. I was hooked by the characters. Nicole Kidman. I was
Hold on,
hooked by
who's Great Hardy? Who plays the
haven't
husband?
seen
No, the guy that's I'll look it up, but the guy who produces Hard Knocks. He's in he's Wolverine's brother.
Yes, he's amazing.
Oh, Liam. Isn't his name Liam?
Yeah.
Shriver.
Yep.
Schreiber.
Man, they do that. That is a great.
Got there. Whew.
That is an amazing miniseries.
It really
Netflix.
is.
He
Netflix
produces. Oh, he's the producer. He narrates some.
He's
of
the
it too,
narrator.
right?
He's the owner of Hard Knocks.
Wow.
He
He
created.
created Hard Knocks. Yeah.
That's
Liev Schreiber.
Who was the first team to do Hard Knocks?
Oh, geez, man, I don't know. It's a long time
Probably.
ago.
I wonder if he had a connection with that team.
They always
and then
pick
it
bad
worked.
teams, so like we have a really good chance if we'd say Cleveland.
Oh, dude, it may have been Cleveland.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or
Cleveland,
Detroit.
Raiders, Detroit, Jets.
We want to get
Jets
some
may have been
quotes
first.
going on.
Yeah, let's get some quotes here.
Jai-ho!
I'll start with this one. Chili's on his willy. Chili's on his willy.
I wrote that down.
Chili's on his willy.
Dude, how many times like you get together for sleepovers and stuff? You're like, I'm not going to sleep.
Dude, no. So our rule,
For sure.
our rule with our entire group growing up was if you fall asleep with your shoes on, you are getting permanent marker written all over you. It was so bad once. My friend's dad was like frantically scrubbing me because he was so embarrassed when my aunt and uncle came to pick me up. We're in the half bath in their main level. He's like Brillo pad scrubbing me. Yeah.
Oh.
I was like 14.
Do you remember when Icy Hot came in the same containers that deodorant sticks did?
Oh yeah.
That was a mistake. We did a lot with Icy Hot and shaving.
There were some challenges.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some challenges.
Oh yeah. Reed came home. He was hanging out with some friends, and he said that they were making these different videos, and they did something with the last drop, like the Carolina Reaper or whatever, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And this isn't. Reed doesn't do this stuff very often, but he and like 3 or 4 other friends all did this, and he said his mouth was on fire.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm so
It's
glad
like-
you're doing these things.
Good for you, bud. Let me tell you about my friend. That's like white hot. Like it starts off where you're like, oh, this is fine, and then it kills you.
Dude, I did.
You've tried it?
Oh yeah.
I had. To,
I actually love hot stuff now. I get ghost pepper cheese on myself.
I had to do the blazing challenge once, and it was not fun.
How far'd you get?
Well, I ate all 12, but I had to. Like,
In under an hour or something like that?
Oh no, it's you're supposed to do it in like 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
But it took me like 20 minutes.
So you eat like a wing of each
No,
level
it's the hottest.
No, it's 12 of blazing wings.
12 of. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And again, I had to do
You
it.
allowed to dip
Brett
it in
could get
anything?
out of that one.
Are you allowed to dip it in anything?
No.
You're not allowed to. No ranch, no.
And no
And then
drinks.
how long afterwards until it's complete?
I'm not kidding you when I tell you my glasses fogged up. It was like a movie. and everyone else had finished it. And everybody's just making
You just
fun
don't
of
do
me.
well with eating challenges?
I can eat a lot of terrible things. It was just the spice level.
Yeah.
I just couldn't handle. Like, I might be better at it now than I was then because I
you
can
finished
handle
Spice.
spicier
I could do
stuff.
spice.
I finished it. I mean,
I could do spice over eating a ton. I would really struggle like eating more than I should because I'd get sick.
The only part of my
Yeah.
body that is hurt by spice is my lips.
Yeah.
It doesn't mess with any other part but my lips.
I will say this: that the Blazing Challenge coming out, not a fan.
Not great.
Really?
Oh, it burns coming out.
You just take a shower and start over?
Nah, man, you just like
You ever showered twice in the morning?
like you shower, then take a poop, and then go shower
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You're
I've
like,
definitely
God
done that.
dang it.
I'm not gonna waste it.
Marty. Marty. Okay, so we were roommates for 4 years, and we had an apartment basically to ourselves for 2 of those years. So you could do a lot of things that you can't get away with like 4 roommates because you got all the time and space.
Yeah.
He got in the shower one time, and I could not hold it, and we had one bathroom. So I go and I sit down. He doesn't know it. He gets out to dry himself off. He goes, "Really, man?" Gets right back in the shower.
That reminds me when Brett and I were rooming together. I'm in the shower, And did you just come into the bathroom? I think
I was getting ready.
He's like getting ready or something.
No. Marcus goes, "Hey, Brett, I need shampoo or something." So I'm out of the, you know how hotel rooms are. I'm like hanging out in the bed getting ready. He's like, "Hey, Brett, I need shampoo." Or let's say it was shampoo. So I go in there, I get the shampoo that's outside of the bed, and then I go to hand it to him, and he just rips open the curtain. And he goes, "Thanks, man."
Oh, that's not even the worst Marcus story.
What I'm not realizing, what I'm realizing for the first time is the amount of time he knew he was going to do that the entire time.
Oh yeah, obviously.
So him waiting was just.
Can you imagine him just smiling from ear to ear, just waiting on you? Because otherwise he'd just get out and get it. That's not even the best Marcus. So the best Marcus story, back before we had money, and we had to sleep 2 to a bed because we just had to save on hotel rooms. I pack my clothes, and I think it was actually the 3 of us, and you drew the short stick, so you got your own bed.
Yeah, okay. We were all 3 together for this.
We were all 3 together, and I go, "Hey guys, I forgot a pair of shorts to sleep in. Does anyone have an extra pair of shorts?" Freaking Marcus goes, "Yeah, dude, you can have mine to sleep in." So I go, "Thanks, sweet." We sleep in the same bed. 19-year-olds. It's fine. Whatever, man. We got a pillow between us. It's fine. I get up the next morning, and we're talking mid-sentence. Marcus gets out of the bed in whitey tighties. I'm like, "Bro, you wearing whitey tighties?" He goes, "Yeah, you're wearing my shorts."
That's a real friend.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. I wish you would have had the other bed.
So far we've shared one quote. Chili's on my willy.
Well, that was a good one.
Great quote.
So any other quotes,
dude? To prove my point about this whole Latika and them, like this was all Jamal's pursuit. Every quote I'm finding is her saying, "Stay away from me." Latika, you want to do something for me? Jamal, anything. Latika, forget me.
Yeah, but to his point, she's trying to save him.
Yeah, she's trying to protect him.
She knows how horrible this world is. She's
or caught up in that
gotten
world.
involved in.
Let's go back closer to the beginning here. It's a shy one. And since when was there a time limit on a crap?
Yeah. The way he says it too, he's like squinting.
Yeah.
It's a shy one.
Jamal, when somebody asks me a question, I tell them the answer. It's a good one.
More?
My enemy's enemy is my friend.
Oh, that was good. When he tells him he killed, is it Mama?
Yeah. Maman?
Mm-hmm.
Maman. The man with the Colt 45 says, "Shut up." That's how he needed the Colt 45. We're drinking the Colt 45.
I
should have had enough for 2, I think.
That was amazing.
So I've got this breath strip on, and it's
you can really get the whole experience.
Yeah, like I'm like, woo.
So how does that work? Is it pulling your nostrils apart? Got it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Remember when I had that?
It's crazy how much extra air comes through when you do those things.
It's a Breathe Right strip, which is a great brand for this.
Are there the ones I've seen online? It looks like there's almost magnets.
Yeah.
I
saw one of those. I don't know what that is.
Okay. Because you literally see
before they put
apart.
it on. Yeah. I don't know what kind of.
So apparently not necessary. This is working great.
Well, this is just, sticky.
This is a throwaway strip after you use it.
It's a throwaway strip, yeah. So I guess it could get a bit expensive if you have the actual magnets.
That's true.
But it's great because... So, I mean, I had that guy on my Real Producers podcast that did facial recognition, basically said, like, your face changes. And one of the things he says is if someone has bigger nostrils, you can tell that they're a thrill seeker because their face changes to allow them to have enough air and wind that goes into them for oxygen for all their...
So you're trying to give yourself bigger nostrils?
Yeah, dude. I'm trying to get ready for... we're going to climb Everest or something.
Yeah. Money and women make us make most of the mistakes in life.
I would agree with that.
You got caught up in both. That was his next line. You got caught up in both.
You got caught up in both.
Marcus thought Rem was talking to him for a second.
Marcus is like, wait.
He was doing a review of his entire life. He's like, wait. Did I?
I'm confused.
There was a part where he said God is good. Salim said God is good. And I thought that was pretty interesting. It made me feel like
it was his last breath.
Yeah, and that was not a focus of this movie. It made me feel like there was probably a higher emphasis on Islam at some point that they cut out a lot of scenes of.
Maybe.
Potentially.
Because the only times was the holy cleansing at the beginning, where they're being chased down by Hindus. The time where he's praying and where he says that.
It could also be that he recognizes that I got my brother and Latika out, and this was just my
totally.
part.
But if you're gonna say a phrase that big,
it did seem out of place. It did seem out of place.
Yeah,
it seemed out of place.
Why does everyone love this program? And then she says it's an escape, and that's why people listen to the Cover Pod.
That's right.
Yeah, also true.
And to
Thanks
learn.
for listening. By the way, like,
You're
subscribe,
welcome,
comment.
do
be
all
great.
the things.
Give us a review.
More quotes.
No, but I got some hidden gems.
Hidden gems. I shared one of mine.
One more.
Oh, go ahead.
And yet, because I'm a Slumdog chai runner, I'm a liar, right? I thought that was really just fascinating because we didn't hit on it, but the way that the upper class looks at the slums.
Oh, just assumed there's no way you knew this stuff.
Yep.
You are a liar. You all are.
There was a hidden gem, a trivia quote when I was doing research that said that Latika was wearing a version of yellow on her at every point in the movie, which in itself was just an interesting take. But when I did a little bit more research, it says the film uses distinct colors to represent emotions. Yellow often represents hope and love.
So even if she wasn't showing it, she was feeling hope and
You
love.
guys can make.
Sorry, I did have one more quote.
Good.
I don't know. I've never known. When they ask him the quote about the third musketeer. And again, they set that. I loved that they set that up the entire time. Actually, I was thinking maybe we should read the Three Musketeers.
Oh my God. Isn't that like 1,000 pages?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think Don Quixote is. I don't know about Three Musketeers.
Let's look and see.
All right, we'll look it up.
Is that a classic?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Considered classic.
Jessica says Salim looks like Indian John Mayer.
No.
I said
Salim
Bruno
is
Mars.
Bruno Mars.
Mars.
100%.
I said Bruno Mars.
Yes, that's correct.
Bruno
And she
Mars.
called me racist.
But also,
What?
I
He
don't
literally
know.
looks
I
like
don't
Bruno
understand.
Mars.
I thought
Okay,
he looked
someone
like Bruno
is
Mars.
The
stretching.
only casting I was a little disappointed in was Middle Salim.
Yeah,
Because he's got a deeper voice and he's like...
He's deeper voice, and is he black? He
No.
doesn't even look
Kid
Indian.
Salim was great,
No.
though.
Kid Salim was
Kid
great.
Salim was great. Older Salim, but I don't disagree with Indian John Mayer. It's just Bruno Mars is just
He literally
there
looks
for
like
the
Bruno
taking.
Mars.
Yeah,
Don't
I agree.
try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I said Bruno Mars, and she was like, well, maybe a cross between Indian John Mayer.
You're like, no, I landed
Bruno
it
Mars.
perfectly.
Bruno Mars.
I already mentioned mine. I mean, DX. Them. Did you guys grow up with WWE, WCW? Did you watch?
No.
Like, was that
I
like
just-
we were?
There was people who were nuts about
Oh,
it.
we were. I mean, I would even use the term religiously. Watched
Did
it.
you believe that it was real?
We
Did you understand it was scripted and you were okay with it?
I think I thought there was a chance it was real until I was probably like 13, for sure. I was all in. We loved it. We loved every Monday, it was a big deal. Paid for pay-per-views. Like all my friends would cover, giving my mom money so we could, because we had Dish. Nobody else did, so we'd watch the pay-per-view.
Wow.
We'd record it. Dude, the Generation X Suck It was a huge. It was just this just what you did. Like that was the best dig, and then it was like, all right. Well,
So 2008 was when this was shot. That would have been.
I would have been
10
doing
years.
2000. Yeah, from like 05 to 08. It was probably pretty the height of.
Oh really?
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. So right. So probably while they were
I
filming.
thought for sure it was when we were younger. I thought it was in the 90s.
Oh no.
Maybe that's why it got the R rating.
Yeah, that scene.
Possibly. But the thing is, no, it wasn't.
I couldn't figure out why this was an R rated.
The original Suck It was not the X. So that may have been late 90s. Then DX created the X. Yes.
With the X.
Yep.
Brett's an expert on Suck It.
I'm an expert on anything you guys aren't, which If I could
that's
choose,
why we're complete.
We are complete. It's good.
I thought a hidden gem was when they're holding hands, trying to not fall asleep on the top of the train. That was cool.
Yeah,
like they're literally
leaning
both,
up against
they're
each
both
other, trying
literally
to keep each other.
No, they're not
on
leaning
the train.
up. They're holding hands, sitting across from each other.
Oh, that's
and
right. That's right.
both
that's right.
falling asleep, but holding hands so that they don't fall
I didn't
off
realize
the
that.
train.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's why it was a hidden gem.
No, good find. Good find. What, any other hidden gems?
the other Jessica quote. She said, "It's weird watching movies with you now because I see something, and then I look over to see if you're writing down."
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it's changed the way that we watch movies. We can't just watch these movies.
I do enjoy watching a movie that Riley's excited to watch because she will be like, "Hey, did you write this down?" Like she'll give me some extra stuff.
Although Jessica is required to not find things on the internet because that's Remington's job.
That's right.
I will say 100%.
She, by the way,
I bank
if
on
she
Remington.
wants to do it, but not tell you, but have like excitement
text
around
you?
it, have her text me. Yeah, have her
that's a
text
good
me,
idea.
and she can be all excited. And it's not like producer Nate does that every 5 minutes.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
We ready to
Good
rate?
point. Yeah.
I can go. 8.4.
Mm-hmm.
Such a great movie. I will say again, just not a fan of how it was shot. Man, the story and kept me an 8.4 when I couldn't stand how it was shot. That's a really good 8.4.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
8.7 for me. I think. Yeah. 8.7.
8.7 is great. He thinks, yeah.
I think there was a time when I might have said this was my favorite movie.
Wow.
I don't know if it was, but I think I might have said that because it was
That's great.
No, just because it was very unique. The first type of movie that I saw like this. So there's a lot of nostalgia. Watching it this time, though, I felt like there was a lot to improve. I don't know.
Yeah, dude. When you're watching with a notebook, it's different, isn't it?
And so I put it as a 7.8. Still a movie I like a lot. Really
See, that's
enjoy.
how Pirates was. It dropped from, so at one point in time, Pirates was my absolute favorite movie.
Yeah.
Watched it 100 times, and then dropped to the 7s when you actually see real cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot that I love about it. It's not a bad
Guys,
rating at all, but
We're
7.8.
growing up.
Yeah.
All right? We're growing up. Our ratings are maturing. What's next? We got two things to tell you about. Number one, The Matrix.
Ooh, I'm very
We're
excited
fire
about that.
Knock knock.
And the book for this month, Sonny Boy, Pacino's autobiography. I'm about 2 hours in, and it's so entertaining, so phenomenal. He narrates it himself. It's awesome. Really excited for both of.
Are you
both
guys
of
Al
those.
Pacino fans? Have you seen Scarface, Godfather?
Yeah, I wouldn't
Dog
say
Day
I'm like
Afternoon.
Pacino. I respect him a lot, but I wouldn't say I'm like a fanboy or anything.
Have you seen a lot of his
I'm
stuff?
a fan.
Have you seen Godfather?
Scarface, Godfather.
Yeah.
I actually thought it might be fun to do Godfather in
Oh.
February since we're doing the book.
For
Doing this book.
Yeah, for sure. I think we should.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's great. That's a great move.
Make that because we talked about doing that and then a couple others, but I think we should do Godfather.
Yeah, love it.
Sweet.
If we're gonna do Godfather, then I would love to do Goodfellas at some point as well.
Yeah.
I actually think I prefer Goodfellas over Godfather, but I
Without
haven't watched Godfather. with-
I'm not sure there is Goodfellas.
Oh, probably
Yeah.
not. I can see that. You guys seen Casino?
Mm-hmm.
Casino's awesome.
Casino's great.
Yeah.
That's De
Godfather
Niro.
wasn't the original gangster movie, though. It wasn't the original.
Well,
Mean
That's-
Streets. There's a couple movies that preceded it.
I haven't seen Mean Streets, but I guess we can get into it at the time. But I mean,
We'll save that. It was instrumental, but if you guys haven't gotten to the Godfather part of the book yet, that's gonna blow your mind.
I've already read it. That's why I said we should. That's why I said
Yeah.
that we should do the
You
Godfather.
said you said Mean Streets. It made me think. Is it Green Street Hooligans?
Yeah,
That's a great
Yeah.
movie as well.
we've
Love
talked
that
about that
movie.
on the show.
Love that movie.
That's very millennial, like millennial male movie.
Yeah.
There's a whole like Fight Club and Green Street Hooligans.
Yeah.
And,
I owe me seeing any of those movies to Rod Mariano.
oh, that makes
Wouldn't have
sense.
seen any of them.
Yeah.
This is
attaboy, Rod.
we'll end it with this.
Apparently Jessica and them saw Rod and Olivia
at Torchy's.
Yeah.
Right? Or Condado.
Here in Indy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rod loves to come to Indy and not tell anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him, though. You know?
No.
Good for him. Dude, I go home.
He was in Ireland with us.
I go home. I tell no one.
That's different. That's different.
We'll end with a Rod Mariano quote. 2 girls he's never met before in our apartment. So, you guys like messed up movies? On the cover we do. We'll see you next time.